Well, I think it's everything. It's in education, it's in health, it's in natural resource management, it's in cultural heritage management. I've worked. My background is in education, so the politics of the curricula, what gets into the curriculum, what's left out, who gets to make that decision, what gets tested, what gets assessed, are all part of archival politics and knowledges. I don't see any tests in the Australian context that say, explain the concept of Yanarumi to Australian students. It's not tested as a part of that regime. A lot of my work more recently, even though I'm an educationalist, has been where community needs work done. And so that's largely been in what I would call the big nation issues, which is land, water, country, identity. And so I've been working in natural resource management, particularly water, and thinking about how do we develop systems that we can insert ourselves into around water-related issues. I've also been working a lot in cultural heritage management, so repatriation issues, working to return Ngarrindjeri old people, is what we call our people who've been removed. So we estimate there are something like 5,000 of our old people who've been moved. When I say moved, in some cases our burial grounds were ransacked. The state coroner in South Australia was a collector of our old people and a distributor of our old people around the world to his friends and networks. So, for example, the University of Edinburgh had more than 300 of our old people, and we've had those returned as a result of being able to track them down and then make the case for returning old people. So they're some of the areas that I've been working in. There's always research that's required for that. One point I'd like to make in terms of the repatriation is that the Australian government has relationships with other governments like the United Kingdom, for example, around return of human remains, returning of old people, and that's terrific. Funded projects, cases made to the institutions, whether they're museums, universities, medical hospitals, wherever our old people are kept. And so we now have something like 400 of our old people. However, the Australian government does not fund reburials. And so, what we've had to do is, and we have our old people at a keeping place, but we can't get them reburied because we don't have the resources to be able to do that. And we've requested resources, we've invoiced federal government and we've invoiced state government for what we think is required, and a program of reburials, essentially reburials every month, because you need to bring in experts, because not all the old people that you have good documentation with them. Sometimes they have very little, and you've got to work out which part of the country they belong to, which families they come from. There's all issues around land and zoning, and can you actually rebury on places? How do you protect those sites? The creation of new ceremonies as a result of reburial practices, because we've never had to rebury. We buried. There were practices around that, but now reburial constitutes something different. So those are some of the areas I've been working in and research that are all, in my view, nation-building projects. Certainly repatriation is, when you have to deal with community, families, thinking about these issues, working out how you're going to be respectful to your old people, working out how you're going to be respectful to the families that those old people come from.